Good day, good people. Well, today we'll be doing the Eastern European fare called Borscht. This is pretty much a cabbage, potato, carrot, and all the other good ingredients soup. Um, well, as probably you guessed from my Scottish accent, I'm from this neck of the woods, like from the Eastern Europe. So I'm very familiar with all the stuff. There's different variations the way the soup's supposed to be done. The original, the Ukrainian one, is supposed to be done with pork. I'm doing this with chicken. In fact, it could be a completely vegetarian fare. You don't have to be worried about actually if you vegetarian or vegan. It's a very healthy soup. It contains mostly vegetables. So without further ado, just let me introduce you the ingredients. So the main ingredient obviously is the potato, cabbage, and beet. Well, here's a grated garlic. Here's a juice of lemon or lemon and a half. In this case, this is grated pepper. This is a tomato sauce. I use the organic kind from Campbell. You know, since I'm not using any bones to make a stock, I'm using the better than bouillon. Here's the organic stock for you. There you are. Some of the bell pepper, and obviously the main culprit here is the beet. You know, onions, tomatoes. I think I introduced carrot already. And here's a shrubbery. It's a parsley and dill, which I like to call Green New Deal. Take it as it is. And here is some celery. So it's pretty much it. So without further ado, let me start grating the uh, components here. And I use this particular glove. I got this from Costco. No, from Amazon. Yeah, it prevents my hands from being my fingers to be grated as well. So because it's this particular grater is very sharp, but I like it a lot because it's does the job well than instead of the dull one, and you still end up hurting yourself. So this one is good. Like you can. It's like a chain mail. All right. So let's start with the carrot. Okay, now I'll be doing this bad boy. It's kind of hard because it's pretty dense, but hey, if you like to eat, you have to work for it. So all the ingredients here, as you can see, was this and this and this, which is the ground pepper. This is going to go to the first stage, goes into the satay pan. The ingredients which I'm going to cut right now, which is the potatoes and cabbage, They will be going. They will be going into the stock pot. Whereas we're gonna make a soup. This one right here. And so this is the second stage. You will see. I'll explain it. It's a kind of multi-stage affair. It's not extremely simple, but the result is great. You're just gonna have to try it. Okay. So let me cut the other vegetables. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna teach you something here. So you can peel the cabbage like this. See, it's already been cored. Okay, and kind of fold it like this, like so, and just go very slowly. See, this is like allows it to be a kind of stringy like this, like spaghetti. This is what we want. Once again, you know, hold it like this, and and potatoes I'm gonna cut right now, but I'm gonna put them into the water. This way, they're not gonna blacken because it's when the potatoes peeled, they interact with the oxygen and they become kind of dark. You don't want that. So water prevents it from doing so. Goodness. And wait, Okay, so let's do chicken. Okay, so chicken is cut. All the stuff is already cut. So everything is cut. You know, I can actually start with the sauteing those vegetables, and then so this is going to be stage, I guess, number two in this case, because first one was to cut all this stuff. Not a big deal, like, but you need to cut the stuff, before you can actually saute it. So the shrubbery will be cut in the last moment, and it's going to be put already with when the pot is going to be off the heat. Like same with the garlic. This is important, but hey, uh, I'll explain this when we're going to get there. Okay, so here we go again. And now it's time to saute the vegetables. Okay, here's the vegetables. Let's first, here's my saute pan. See, it's pretty big, right? Let's put the oil in. I use the grapeseed oil because there is no smell with this one, which is okay. And forgot this, and I guess we can start sauteing the vegetables. You don't need to do it. You see how many vegetables it is? But after it's gonna spend some time sauteing here, uh, uh, it will be like half the size. Okay, here comes the lemon juice. Okay, and here comes the tomato paste. Oops, happens. Well, off you go. I'm gonna be just stirring the stuff up. I've covered this because it speeds up the process, and plus you want all the juices therein as well. You don't want them to evaporate, so it will actually have a great deal of juices which is going to come out of the vegetables. All the stuff is going to go into the soup, and it's going to be a very nice borscht. I don't know if I should call this the soup a soup or borscht a soup, like a soup or borscht, because it's something different. Anyways, it's some kind of Eastern European vegetable contraption. The reason for this is that most of these root vegetables were available through the year. Of course, no tomatoes, but we had preserved a great deal of tomatoes and tomato paste. Cabbage is available through the year. Carrots available through the year when they preserved in a cold, dark environment. Source the potatoes and beets. That's why, hence, here's the soup. The winters are long and cold, and you pretty much have to eat what has been even dished out, and it's the stuff which was dished out. And here we are. Here comes borscht. Okay, so it took about half an hour to saute those vegetables, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but here is the result. Just like I said, it became just one red mass. You know, all the vegetables kind of melted together. The juices came blended together. You know, that's it looks pretty nice. Anyways, look at this. You know, so this is the first stage. I'm gonna start with the second stage. I'm gonna leave this for now. And the second stage would be is uh, boiling the meat. You know, with the stock, and then adding the vegetables. In terms of the vegetables, I mean potato and cabbage. This is okay. So we're back. You know, here is the pot, and and right now is actually I'm filled the pot with the about a little bit over the half of the pot, like 6/10 of the pot, something like that. You know, the reason for this because we still have to put all the other vegetables in. Don't forget, this is the vegetable soup. This is not a chicken soup. It's a vegetable soup. So now it's boiling, and as soon as actually I'm doing right now, I'll be using this particular contraption, the strainer, to skim back, you know, like all the stuff which is gonna come on top of the while the meat is boiling. So meat is about to get boiled pretty soon, you know, like so. Let's wait for it. You know, that's it. It's boiling, and there's gonna be some stuff floating on top of it. I guess this is like some fat, and well, we don't want the stuff inside the soup, you know. And so let's wait until it will start boiling and skim the stuff off the top of the boiling water. So the water will boil pretty soon. Okay, now so that all the stuff which was floating on top of like all this fat is gone, we can put some stock in. You know, I didn't do it, so I can be generous, you know, because this is the one I like to use for the salt. You know, it's pretty salty, so of course we have to taste it. You see, in this case, it's a beef stock. You can buy the vegetable stock as well. You know, it can be a little bit on the salty side because don't forget you're gonna add vegetables, and they will release lots of water. Since we didn't add any salt into our sauté vegetables, or as well as uh, there is a cabbage and potato. They consist lots of water. I can add a little bit more. This would be good. Hmm. That's good. Maybe just a bit more. Hmm. Always taste it, see how it's actually, if it's good or not. Here, I'd like to add. Actually, it's funny, this is curry. I like myself use the curry. Like it's, like all the purists will be complaining about this, but it's gives this an extra zing, you know. So a bit of curry powder. Good. Uh, okay. Now we can add the other vegetables. Here comes cabbage. Here's come cabbage and potatoes. Allow it to boil as well for about 25 to 30 minutes. After this, you're gonna get the saute vegetables soon. Okay, allow this to boil for a while. Okay, well now it's all this stuff. Vegetables been uh, boiling for about 30 minutes. It's time to add the stuff from the saute pan. Um, Even though it's actually even if it's not gonna fit, you can always leave the rest of the stuff for later on. Just freeze it up in a Ziploc. It, because this is the most labor intensive stuff. So let's just add this in. Let's see if this time I think it's gonna fit fine, just fine. Mhm. All right, there we are. So just mix it up nicely and let it boil for another 10-15 minutes. You know, it will take a while. 10-15 minutes. After this, you can turn this off and add more aromatics in, like garlic and green new deal and parsley. Here we are. Let me just put this on. Okay, soup is ready. So I'm just gonna turn this off. Wait until it's all gonna calm down a bit, like here in a pot, and then we're gonna introduce the aromatics and as well as the garlic here. And, that's it. We just kind of have to put this on top of the soup, on top of the borscht, actually. Sorry, the borscht, and just let all the goodness get sucked into the borscht. And in about half an hour, it will be ready. It's all going to be good. Okay, so here we are. So first I'm actually going to put the garlic on. See? Just like that. And now all the aromatics, like so. Okay, eventually now we will cover this up and just let it all melt in. And within like half an hour, we're gonna have ourselves a pretty good soup. You always eat borscht with the sauerkraut. Not sorry, no sauerkraut. Sour cream. There you go. Sour cream. Actually, you can make a borscht with the sauerkraut. This is what we used to do back home when we didn't have the fresh cabbage, but we had a sauerkraut, which was pretty much pickled cabbage, and it tasted very nicely. Okay, guys, see you later. Until next time, bye.